Welcome back to the podcast. Today is we love these casual chit chats because we just got off of a podcast recording where we were interviewing one of our students and the conversation of unexpected expenses came up. So what we want you to do today is pull up a chair, grab a drink, get cozy, because Mama Mar and Mama Becca are going to give you a little bit of tough love, but it is love. And the reason being that we see, number one, this podcast is that unexpected expenses are not unexpected. And we want to talk to you about what you can do to be more prepared for them, whether it's in business or in personal. They are never unexpected. You know, it's inevitable that things are going to break down, that you're going to have things pop up. Your kids are going to need a trip to the emergency room, or, you know, in my case, the furnace went in the last few weeks, and now we're dealing with that. There's always something. And how you prepare for those things is really the difference. And it's a choice. And so what we want to talk to you about today, what we want to empower you to feel is that regardless of whether you're making a lot of money, because we have clients that are making multi-five figures and still feel like the unexpected expenses are, really, really tough to deal with, mostly mentally, and financially, because, if you're not in control of your numbers, then it doesn't matter how much money you're making. We also have clients who are making very little. They're either brand new in business, or they're, just a few years in and maybe still working on building up their revenue. And, the feelings and what we're hearing from you is the same regardless of where you're at financially. Unexpected expenses can cause a spiral. They can cause you to really feel out of control. They can cause you to feel like bitter and frustrated. And like, these things keep happening to me is what we're hearing a lot. And we've personally both felt those ways as well. And so, Becca, this all spurred because of not only this conversation, but also of a few things that have come up in both of our lives over the past, few weeks, and how you were able to deal with something that happened in your family this weekend that was completely different than how you were able to handle those things in the past. So I want you to tell us a little context. What happened in your life that spurred this conversation?
Yep. The Friday before a long holiday weekend, my husband went to work and he texted me and said, something's wrong with the car. All the lights are on. It's not driving right. Something's wrong with the car. He works pretty far away. So my first question was, did you get to work okay? Are you okay? That would not have been my first question last year. It would have been like, what do you think is wrong? How much is it going to cost? All of these things. And it was so interesting. And I didn't realize this until I reflected back a couple days later. But I immediately went into action. Okay, what's the first step? The first step is, how could we get the car to somebody? When could we get the car to somebody? And then we just wait to hear from them. We wait to see what's wrong with the car. Is it something that we want to fix / can fix? Is it a situation where the car is just not worth putting that much money in and we have to purchase a new car? Like, I don't know what the outcome is going to be, but I know it can only be one of two things. You either pay for it to get fixed or you have to get a new car. And so I have not had a single spiral this time. And I didn't realize it until I started to think about it days later. But it's not just about the money. Because last year we did have an emergency fund. We blew through the whole thing with all of the emergencies that came up. And that was stressful by itself, right? But my mindset last year was very victim mindset. It was very, what else is going to happen to us? Why are we experiencing all of these things? And I just fell into a pattern of, this keeps happening to us. And what you have to remember when you're in a situation like this is you're not the only one who experiences unexpected expenses that are truly expected. You just don't know when they're going to happen. You're not the only person who's ever had to deal with this. And sometimes it takes me thinking about it that way to pull me out of okay, it's not just me. Hundreds, maybe thousands of people are experiencing the same problem right now with me at the same time. It's not just about the numbers. It's about your mindset and how you decide before it happens how you're going to tackle a problem. So we talk about all the time, how are you going to use your money? Decide before it comes in. How are you going to tackle an unexpected expense, an emergency room visit, the furnace going out, a car repair, a towed car? How are you going to take care of that? before it happens. Because the reason they call them unexpected expenses is because you're not prepared. We don't prepare for these in advance when that's the very thing we should be prepared for, because they are going to happen. You have no idea what day it's going to happen. You wake up, you go to start the car, the battery's dead. Like, it could be as simple as that. We live in a society where we are very reactive, but we are not very often proactive. And money and unexpected expenses is one area where you can absolutely be proactive, because you know it's going to happen one way or another. And one thing that we talk about a lot inside with our clients is having a list of goals that you want, right? And they could be as simple as a 3-month emergency fund, or saving up for a washer, saving up for a dryer. It could be so many things. You have a list, and there's always a leader. One of those things always leads, because you can focus on one goal as the leader, and the others you can, kind of tiptoe through, right? Tiptoe towards. Some days your unexpected expense is going to jump up to the very top, and you're going to pause all the other goals for a few minutes, for a few days, for a month, whatever, and take care of what needs to be taken care of. And then it goes back to the bottom of the list or the middle of the list, and the goal that you were working on goes back to the top. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can see my hand motions. It may be a little more clear. But what we want you to understand is you have a choice. Number one, how you emotionally deal with unexpected expenses, and how you financially deal with unexpected expenses. You have a choice in both of those. Both of those situations, you could let it happen to you, or you could get out in front of it and decide how you're going to take care of it before it happens.
Yeah, okay, so this is where a little bit of the tough love is going to come in here, because I've had to have these conversations even in my household. Because so many of us get into this place of like, okay, this unexpected expense comes up and I don't have the means to afford it. And this is where I need to say with love. And again, I've had to say this in my own household. You make what you make, and your job is to live within that means or make more money. And so in my household, we make really good money, and we have a lot of humans in our house. We have a family of 6. And we like to have experiences. We like to let our kids play all the activities they want to play. We like to take a vacation as a family once a year. And so there's certain lifestyle things that we're not willing to sacrifice, even when money gets tight, even when there's more than the normal amount of unexpected expenses that, has come up in our situation over the last year. Last year, we were just the same thing. Like, everything broke. All of our toys broke. The camper needed a new roof. Like, everything we could touch was like a lemon. And so my point isn't to say like you make what you make and that's it and you need to sacrifice. That's not what we want. That's not what we preach or what we teach over here, because we want you to have lifestyle and we want you to be set up financially. The message is, though, that you also know that expenses are going to pop up, and they aren't so much unexpected. You just don't know when. That's the deal. So you know they're coming. You know the kids are going to outgrow their hockey skates. You know that one of the appliances is bound to go, especially appliances these days, right? They don't last like they used to. And so how are you going to prepare for those things? How are you going to align your spending so that you can save for those things and have a cushion and feel mentally and emotionally set up for those things and still live the lifestyle you want? My husband and I, one of the sacrifices that we made, so we weren't having to sacrifice, and I say sacrifices, but one of the amendments to our spending habits, I'll say, we made was we love eating out. Like, we really love eating out. But when I looked at my numbers and got them all in one place, I've told this story countless times, I'm going to keep telling it over and over again. I realized that one month that we had a really busy month between activities and being on the fly and travel for hockey and with the kids, like, it was just everything. We were renovating. We ate out a whole vacation to Mexico that month, in a month, right? And I didn't know that until I got my numbers in front of me. And it was really eye-opening. We actually laughed. We were like, what? That is insane. How did we even afford that? How did we even make that happen? And that's where our money was going, where it didn't align. with our goals. And so we've actually almost stopped eating out completely. We've started cooking more from home, and it's a real treat now when we go out to eat, because we wanted that money to go towards investing, to go towards family vacations, to go towards things that aligned with our value system, and to go towards making sure that we are prepared when these quote unquote unexpected expenses arise.
Yeah. So, what can you do today? That's what we want to ask you. What is one thing you could do today to start preparing for an unexpected expense, to start preparing your mind, your mindset for an unexpected expense? Maybe for some of you, that's putting away $50. Maybe for others of you, that is taking some of your business profit and stuffing it away for a rainy day, for a really rainy day. In the pouring of unexpected expenses that we experience some days. Maybe that is looking at everything in your home and everything that you have that you need to cook your meals, to wash your clothes, to drive to work, to drive to doctor's appointments. Look at everything that you have and decide how you're going to pay for when that comes up. Decide in advance. Does that mean you need to go shop and see how much water heaters are? Do you need to go shop and see how much washing machines are, dryers, refrigerators? Like, do you need to get all of the information so that you know how to be prepared? Do you need to talk to yourself every day and pull yourself out of victim mentality? Do you need to do both of those? How are you going to prepare yourself for unexpected expenses, even when you are not at the place financially where you want to be, where you feel like you have to be in order to prepare for these?
And I wanted to add, even if you're making a lot of money, because our clients who are making a lot of money are actually feeling just as much, if not more, stress about how to manage it when they don't know how to manage it well, and they aren't clear on what to do and how much to put aside, and do I need to have, there's just so many unanswered questions regardless of how much money you're making. We had a client, I think this is a really great way to kind of summarize this message today on unexpected expenses. We had a client share with us that having a clear picture, this is what she said to us, having a clear picture of all of our family's spending, both in their personal and in their businesses. Having a clear picture of all of our spending, let them know where their money was going. And it's worded funny. She said, having a clear picture of where all of our money is going. I want to know where it's going so I can make better decisions. I'm thinking more proactively now versus reactively. So having a system to track her numbers and to look at what's coming and going has allowed her to shift from being reactive to expenses and reactive to life happening around her, to being really proactive and starting to think in advance and change the story and the mindset around where she was at with her money and what she can do, what she's capable of doing with her money.
So, in conclusion, someone said to us a couple weeks ago that managing money was just boring. It was hard. And I want to leave you with this last thought. The word manage literally means to take control of. So, what are you going to decide today to take control of?